Yes, people, what's good? Man's just woke up. Big shout out to Lammy. Thanks for the phone call, brother. So yeah, blasted a show out last night, trying to explain about your birth certificate and various bits. I hope you got it. I hope it were helpful. You know, if you want to comment, and you know, if there's anything you're stuck with, I can help you with, then I'll you know, gladly help you out with it. It's not a problem. You know, like I said to you, man's got to be careful, because man's got neighbourhood watching, you know. Man's got 75-year-old neighbourhood watch, SAS trained, you know, trained in the art of picking a phone up and chatting on man. So man can't do much, you know. Man can only write rhymes these days, and man can only make cups of tea, you know. It's this world's getting where, you know, you can't make any funds, if you like, without Big Brother, stroke slash neighbourhood watch, stroke slash phone picker, curtain twitchers, you know. I mean, and what's funny is these people stand up for these corporations, and they don't even know these corporations are, you know. They defend these big companies and these big bosses and the royal family, because, you know, that's what you do, you know, because that's what's always been done. So nobody, it's simple, yeah. It's like this: if you know, every day of your life someone comes up to you and slaps you in the face every day, right? And then say after 15 years you turn round and you said to him, I say, mate, why do you keep slapping me around the face every day? And then, you know, if the lad says to you, well, you know, it's just what we do, it's just normal, you know, this is what goes on. You know, you do two things, don't you? You either say, oh, okay, and let him carry on slapping you in the face, or then you say, well, this stops, you know, this stops today, and you put an end to it. It's either way, isn't it? You know, simple, really. Anyway, yeah, so man's got to be, you know, on his guard. Man's got trained SAS, neighbourhood watch, you know, trained in the art of bullshit, really, you know. Yeah, so man's had a cup of coffee, man's had his caffeine injection, man's ready to do his webcast. So, you know, I want to get into a few things, you know, kind of talk about things what other people won't for some reason, you know, and I just want to say on camera, you know, I mean, I have my bad days, you know. I mean, it's you know, it's no hidden fact that I suffer from depression, you know. Stems from years of playing about with chemicals when I was younger, you know, LSD, amphetamines, you know, chemical abuse. So yeah, I do suffer with depression, but I just want to say on camera, you know, I've got a girl in my life, I've got a daughter in my life, so, you know, I would never physically hurt myself, you know. So, you know, maybe if anything was to happen, you know, it's probably because I spoke the truth, you know. So always remember that, you know, they don't like the truth. People who want to speak truth, they don't seem to stick around for long, you know. Just want to get some truths out there, so I want to try and help people understand, this world, what we think we're living in, what they've, don't forget, it's their world. They've created our reality, if you like, through the television, through the newspaper, through through schools, and then it's passed down from generation to generation. Like goes back to the, well, this is how it is scenario. This is what we do. Slapping face every day. Why? Because this is what you do. So basically, I think if we all just start asking questions instead of just shuffling along in this line we're in, and not daring to look back, not daring to question things. We must question things. We must ask questions, because if you don't ask questions, then you're not going to get no answers. And if you just carry on like you are, it's not going to be a good outcome. It's testing times these. Like as stated, America have invaded 50 countries since World War II. 50 countries. I mean, life's like a game of Monopoly, and it's their game of Monopoly, and it's their rules, and they're 25 moves ahead of us. They know what you're going to do before you do it. The technology that they have to their disposal, we cannot comprehend the technology they've got. They reckon there's something like 70 to 100 years in front of us in the military alone. And it's been said that we will be tricked into thinking we're being invaded by aliens and such things like that, but in truth it'll be the government hiding behind this alien theory. What we've got to realise is war. War is nothing more than organised murder. But war gets like polished over, like as if it's okay. Oh, it's just war. That word you get brought up round that word, and it's like, oh, well, it's war. This is what they do. This is what happens. This is life, and should it be that way? Those then what? Let's say 35 billion pound on war, and it'd only take 3.5 billion pound to clothe and feed every human on this planet. So if we're such a caring, if these people are such caring bunches of people, and our royal family is so caring and so, then surely a few antiques in fucking loft or cellar could be sold off to feed these poor people who ain't got no. Keep the third world. Well, Britain's like a third world at the minute. I think we'll call Africa the fifth world, because it's more like it's more fifth or sixth world, bless them. We're third world in England. So these sixth world Africans, bless them, they keep them uneducated. That's what they do, because they don't want these people knowing who they are. They don't want them to wake up and educate themselves, because educated people, that old saying, a little bit of knowledge is dangerous. It's very true. Too much knowledge. So, but what do we do as people? Do we not talk about these things, do we not? I think neighbourhood watch, I think she's glued to the window. I think she knows I'm online. She must have, her pager must have gone off or something. She's been alerted that I'm doing my YouTube vid. She's been alerted. She's on call out 24/7. 75-year-old ninja with a moustache, bless her. Very scary. Very scary. She'll tickle your chocolate to death. Bless her. I should have got her a Mac 3 for Christmas. I forgot. It'll be right. Anyway, yeah. So I was watching a thing yesterday, and it were about Princess Diana. Bless her. You know, when you realise that Princess Diana, you know, that this crash she was in, very conveniently, in a tunnel, you know, the car she was in was a Mercedes, whatever series, 200 class, 280 class, I think it was. And very strangely enough, this Mercedes, type of Mercedes, has this electric chip in the engine, you know, in under the bonnet, and it controls the steering, brakes. You can control, you know, it's basically a chip what can control the you know, everything, to steer everything. And I didn't know this fact. Basically, the model what she was in, the car what she was in, that night, they were told there wasn't no cars available. Now, bearing in mind, this is the Princess of England, but there were no cars available, you know. So this Mercedes 280 class, whatever it is, sorry, I haven't got the exact model. I'm sure it's 280 Sport, whatever it is. I'll find the exact model and post it up. But that's the model with this chip, and that car what she was in, the chip had clearly been modified in the car. Not only that, when you see the footage of the car just after it's crashed, then you know the back bit of the car is in perfect condition, nothing wrong with the back bit. But as viewers, when we get to see the Mercedes being put onto a low loader lorry, it's all crushed in, as if it's been dropped from a high-story car park roof. So obviously that damage has been caused after the accident. A bit strange. Now, Princess Diana was still alive after that crash, you know, and this mysterious doctor, who nobody knew who it was, where he come from, ended up coming on scene, taking her to ambulance. You know, bearing in mind, it would have took him 11 minutes in rush hour to get to the hospital, right? In rush hour it would have took 11 minutes. Bearing in mind, it were after midnight, because that's how they work. It's always a good sacrifice after 12 o'clock. The witching season, the witching hour it's called. It took them an hour and a half to get that ambulance from that tunnel to that hospital, when it would have only took 11 minutes in rush hour. So that's a bit freaky. And also they parked, when they did manage to get near to the hospital, they parked over the road from the hospital. Work that out. Our princess you know, our Princess of England, you know, very important person, if you like, and they parked the ambulance over the road from the hospital, you know, and what blew my mind, proper blew my mind, was they embalmed Princess Diana while she was still warm. Can you believe that? Embalmed the body while she was still warm, making it impossible for any, you know, autopsy or for any things like that to be done because she's been embalmed. So you make your own mind up. I'm not telling you what's what. I'm just telling you what some other facts, you know. I'm not blaming anybody. You know, Princess Diana wrote a letter herself explaining, saying, I'm sat at my desk and I know my husband, Prince Charles, is planning to kill me off in a car accident. How strange. And then, you know, hallelujah, she ends up dying in a car accident. So yeah, very strange. Another strange one. We've got Tupac. Okay? Now, on the alleged night when Tupac were murdered, they interviewed this woman. Okay? Now, the news tells us Tupac got shot. He got shot in this BMW. There's pictures online, you can get them on YouTube. Pictures of Surge Knight, whatever he's fucking called, big fat Sug Knight, in car with Tupac. Obviously a left-hand drive because it's America. And you see, when you look at the pic, there's no keys in the ignition of the BMW and the car's moving. So I don't know how that works out, you know, clearly photoshopped. And anyway, the news tells us Tupac got took off in an ambulance, okay? Now, they interviewed this woman at the scene, the alleged scene. And this woman says, yeah, you know, I seen, you know, all this commotion, and she said, I couldn't believe it with Tupac, and then this helicopter come down, and I seen them put him in an helicopter, and woof, off they went, okay? But the news is saying he got took in an ambulance. Now, what they say about Tupac is, they say that they cremated his body the very next day. Now, it's illegal in America. It is illegal to just bury a body, cremate a body without any autopsy. It's just, it don't happen. It never happens. It's just, so how can we buy that story? How can we, you know, my man's been popped up a couple of times and they burnt his body the next day and he had a closed funeral. Come on, people. Now, very interestingly enough, Tupac read a book in jail about a guy named Machiavelli. Now, when you research Machiavelli was this guy from Italy, I think he was, and Machiavelli faked his own death. I think he was the first celebrity to get away with faking his own death. So Tupac, you know, he'd read this book in jail, and Tupac had got this idea, you know, because a person like Tupac was spreading, you know, a message, and he had a lot of support, you know, and you know, a very dangerous people. He were a very dangerous person to these people because people would listen to him, see? And I think Tupac had the intelligence to know that someone were going to want him dead, whether it was government, you know, maybe it was some beef with. So Tupac, and if you listen to his songs, I mean, he tells you tells you what he's done, you know, he tells you that he's done one, you know, and also, so, you know, his music's been coming out under the name Machiavelli for the last however many years, you know, and they say that, you know, Tupac set to, you know, return. You know, an interesting thing is insurance, his death policy. It's never been cashed in. It's never been claimed. So, you know, I'm sure if someone were dead, then obviously that money would be paid out, wouldn't it? Surely that's what a claim's for, isn't it? So yeah, so his death insurance is still live. You know, it hasn't been cashed in. So, you know, I think we'll be seeing Machiavelli at some point. You know, an interesting thing is what's known as the 27 Club. If you research into that, you know, 27. These people these celebrities who supposed to have died at 27. You know, your Amy Winehouses, your Kurt Cobains, you know, the list goes on and on and on and on and on and on. River Phoenix, you know, you've got all these celebs and they die at 27. I mean, I grew up understanding that Jimi Hendrix, you know, he died of a drug overdose. That's what I would like to believe, you know. In truth, I've learned that Jimi Hendrix was murdered. You know, they held him down and poured alcohol down his throat till he drowned. That's how they disposed of Jimmy. You know, because at the time they can't have a black man being how he was. You know, really powerful, really famous, people adoring him, loving him, a black man, and you know, they disposed of him. Jimi Hendrix was no more. A weird one is, if you look at Morgan Freeman, is that Jimi Hendrix? I don't fucking know, you know. Well, the truth's stranger than fiction, you know. Fuck knows, you tell me. Ask Morgan Freeman if he'll sing fucking, you know, Purple fucking Haze to you, and, you know, if it sounds like fucking Jimmy, it probably is, you know. Crazy world, you know. JFK, you know, we've got Lee Harvey Oswald in a window shooting. What a load of bollocks, you know. If you do some research into that, it's you'll know the driver of the limo and Governor Conway, who was sat right next to JFK. They had every reason to dispose of JFK, because them two people are very naughty misters, you know. And they had trouble on. They had a bit of beef with Cuba, didn't they? You know, when you research into it, they had some beef in Cuba, and Kennedy weren't going to play ball or whatever. So, you know, Bosh, get rid of Kennedy, and then, you know, if you listen to Kennedy's speeches, the man's telling you about secret societies, about how they've gained all this power, military power. They've got unlimited funds, you know, and he said it's a grave danger, and they're taking over, you know, and believe me, they've took over, you know, they're running the show, you know, and then they'll stick all this Illuminati stuff out there to put it in your face, so when someone tries to explain it to you, you'll think it's all bullshit because it's been blatantly stuck in your face. You know, they had no option but to do that, because it's people are waking up, people are becoming aware, people are deciphering all the codes. And, you know, do you know about the American dollars? You know, I think it were in the 1980s when these dollars were produced, and you fold them a certain way, you know, and it shows you the Twin Towers blowing up, it shows you the Pentagon attacks, it shows you the Oklahoma bombings, that Timothy McVeigh, the convicted, you know. And I find that just unbelievable, you know. And if you do research into, you know, Illuminati card games, you know. Just type in Illuminati card game, and I think that was 1980s, and it shows you every atrocity that's ever happened, including Twin Towers, including the Pentagon, including Boston bombings, the cinema shootings. It shows you the nuclear disaster, Fukushima in Japan. I won't swear, in Fukushima in Japan. It shows you that disaster. Bearing in mind, this game come out in the 1980s. So this game predicted all these atrocities what have happened in our lifetime since the 1980s. How can that be? You know, how can that happen? I don't know. You tell me. That's why I'm doing these chit-chats, you know. This is why I'm doing these documentaries. You know, man's turned into David Attenborough. I'm trying to get some, you know, trying to get some answers. But it's not, you know, it's different kind of animals I'm trying to get through my binoculars, you know. It's these human, you know, clones, these, they look like human, but they're not, and they're worse than animals, you know. Man's onto them. Believe man's onto them. But what can I do? I ain't even got a fucking spud gun, I ain't even got a water pistol. How can I fight against them? All I can do is try and use my intelligence, and that's it. You know, that's all I can do. All I've got is words. But, you know, words are powerful things. Words can do some damage. You know, words can do more damage than bullets. Because, yeah, a bullet might be able to kill somebody. But a word, you know, a word can stick about. Words can kill. Words can have effect on loads of people. So a bullet might be able to kill. Bullets might be able to kill people, but words stick around, and words don't biodegrade. Words stay. So that's what's happening. We're getting word on road. We're getting word out. That's what we're doing. That's what I'm doing. You know, we've got other people in the background who are, you know, not in my background. Other people, and you know, other people out there who are waking up. You know, and it don't take, you know, it don't take much to start the old brain matter getting into action. You know, you start studying a few of these things what don't seem right, you know, and you end up seeing a few truths. You know, that's what it's about. That's what life's about, truths. Not sneaky lies, fucking about, you know, misleading people. Don't forget, you know, it's all done for money. It's all money orientated, innit? It's all to get people worshipping money. That's all it is. And, you know, when you spend your money, it's these rich families, these elite who own the shop, so they get your money. They get your money from your tax when you work. You know, it all goes into their pockets. I mean, and all these charities, be very careful, because these charities are not what they say they are. It's just bullshit, you know. It's just all fucking back to front. It's all opposite. You know, you feel sorry for them, like, oh God, I've got to send them my money, and fucking hell, it's unreal. I want to tell you where I'm at the minute. You know, I'm a single bloke, yeah. I've got a 2-bed property, and what's been happening is, it's not. what's been happening is the government are trying to sort of force me out because I've got this 2-bedroom property. They're saying they want an extra £46 a month off me. Now, I'm currently receiving £60 a week. You know, when you look at my outgoings, like broadband, internet to home, mobile phone bill every month, gas, electric, you know, all these fucking bills, I'm sort of in a corner now where I really can't afford shit, you know. It's and I've got a daughter, that spare room's for my daughter, so, you know, the government are forcing people out of their homes, slapping these taxes on us, you know, what the same story about being slapped in the face, you know, they shouldn't be slapping these fucking taxes on us, but we're taking these taxes on our chin like it's normal, and it's not fucking normal. We all need to know this. But if we all don't make a stand, then there's no point. You know, if there's only just a couple of people waking up and trying to make a change, that's not going to make any difference. We need everybody. We need everybody to understand, you know, what this system is doing to them. You know, let's not just think about our generation, you know, it's going to be our kids' generation and whatever, you know. It's just be on your guard with, you know, these police, and you do not have to say one word to a policeman. You know, they'll tell you that it's your right to remain silent, so use your rights. Don't be bullied by them. You know, if you, like I explained in my last video, if you're a person and you're a corporation, then you can have paperwork, you can have your own paperwork, you know, like any other business does. You can set your business plans out, if you like, because it's your time, and time is valuable. So you need to put a price on your time when you're dealing with certain corporations, certain people. You can also charge fees, you know. We need to learn how to apply ourselves as human beings. We need to, because we grow up in such a way where we don't understand how to apply ourselves. We don't get it. Because we don't get taught it. You know, we have to teach ourselves, basically. We have to educate ourselves and be knowledge in knowledge ourselves and use that knowledge. Yeah, I just see it'd be handy if people start, you know, commenting about things, and let's start getting a, you know, debate going. Let's start, you know, getting thoughts and ideas together. You know, this year there's gonna be hopefully some good things happening. You know, I'm looking forward to this year, 2014. Fuck it, try and you know, try and make it a good year. Just quick warning as well, to try and help about food. I've proper gone off food lately. Me, I'm you know, I'm learning what's in food. All I'm eating lately is potatoes, like tuna, you know, things like that. I won't eat these ready meals, and I won't eat this, you know, all this processed stuff. If you look at stuff what's in it, it's very bad for you, you know. Whether our kids eat McDonald's, things like that, not knowing McDonald's, they put there these places to kill people off, you know. Why do you think, you know, it's got a nation full of fat bastards, you know? Because it's that mentality, and it's way the people have been brought up, and it's because these businesses, you know, they thrive off it, and guess who owns all places who, you know, when you die they pocket again off you, so quicker you die, more money for them, sort of thing, you know. They're cashing in every time. You know, every single war, you know, has been manufactured. It's done on purpose to, you know, split everything up and to gain more a foothold into things. You know, it's these wars don't just start because people have fell out. These countries have fell out. That's just propaganda. That's just bullshit. You know, when you learn, you know, why did Saddam Hussein, you know, Saddam Hussein were put in power by the CIA, by these people, you know. They put him there, and then next thing they pull him up and hang him, you know. It's the one weapons of mass destruction, you know. They admitted they were lying. Look what's happening now in Syria, same thing. Chemical weapons, bullshit again. You know, Saddam Hussein never had chemical weapons. Look at Gaddafi. Please do some research about Gaddafi. Type in something like Gaddafi explains about Illuminati. He does loads of speeches about the Illuminati, Gaddafi. He tells you who these people are. He tells you what they're doing. But we're good at not listening, us people. We don't listen. Too busy thinking about a fucking handbag or, you know, a pair of fucking shoes. We don't listen to people. We don't take it in. We just look at them, you know. He had free health care for his people. Gaddafi is trying to bring his own currency out called gold dinar, right? You know, like we have like pound coins. He were bringing this currency out called gold dinar, and he stopped trading his oil in dollars. Okay, so America obviously they couldn't let this happen, because if it succeeded with this currency, then the dollar would have fell. The dollar would have been worthless, you know. So that's why Gaddafi got took out of the picture. Everything you see on the news about him being a bad man and he was this and he was that, it's all bullshit. Gaddafi, Jesus Christ, when you put Gaddafi up to side of someone like Bush or Obama, Gaddafi looks like a fucking tooth fairy, believe. You know, Gaddafi were a nice guy, but they just make out that these bad people. So we feel it's justified that they've killed him. You know? It's just, I can't believe it. How comes Tony Blair's not swinging? Done some bad things, Tony Blair, you know? Tony Blair looks like the Queen. Tony Blair looks like Queen's sister. Get me? Dodgy. Put Tony Blair's face on Queen's face. Booyaka. You know, they're all related. Every single president, except for one, all related to the Queen. Did you know that? Madness, you know. What about these FEMA camps? I'm asking people about, do you know what FEMA camp is? No, mate, you know, it's, I'll tell you what it is. They've got these camps being built all over America, and I don't just mean one or two, and it's not a fucking scout camp, trust me. This camp what they've got, these camps what they've built, they're called FEMA camps, and they're called family detention centres. And in these camps, they've built, you know, they've got 3 sets of security fencing, more than a prison, okay? And they've built these massive ovens, and I mean these ovens are bigger than my living room, these ovens, okay? Now, I don't think them ovens are for cooking pizzas. Definitely not for pizzas, you know? So I don't know what these ovens are for. Now, when you look back into history, because sometimes we have to look back in order to move forward, okay? And you look back in history and you look what Hitler did. It's exactly the same thing. You've got Hitler who attacked his own government building and then blamed terrorists so he could start a war. Exact same, you know, like 9/11 or whatever. You know, I mean, look at what happened on the Twin Towers. I mean, the Pentagon attack, for instance, you know. I mean, the Pentagon are saying that a plane hit the building, okay? Hit the Pentagon building. Now, the Pentagon is the world's most protected building on Earth. It's undoubtedly the most secure building on Earth. You know, that and Vatican. And they're saying on the 11th, 9/11, a plane went about 500 miles an hour, dropped out at sky and ended up hitting building. Well, the day before that happened, the Twin Towers, the Defence Secretary come out and said there was $7 trillion missing out of the defence budget, okay? Now, the next day, after that speech, a plane's dropped out at sky and hit the Pentagon, after 2 supposed planes had hit the Twin Towers. Now, they didn't release video footage of this plane hitting the Pentagon until about a week later, right? And on their official video, released by the Pentagon,